guys, in this video I would like to show you how to do differentiation using some rules of differentiation. In our previous meeting we have discussed like how to find the derivative using limit, and now how to find the derivative of a function using rules of differentiation. We have some rules of differentiation. For example, the first one is the basic rules. And then we also have product rule. And then the third one is quotient rule. And the last is chain rule, the chain rule. Okay, so actually basic rules is like, I think you have known about this rule. I will give you an example. If I have a function fx, if you have a function fx equals to x to the power of n, then the first derivative of x, or f prime x, or sometimes can be written as dy over dx, equals to n x to the power of n minus 1, right? So if you have, for example, like this polynomial function with 3x to the power of 5 plus 2x cube, and then minus 3x, for example, and then plus 1, then the first derivative of this function is 3 times 5 is 15 with x to the power of n minus 1, so 5 minus 1 is 4, and then plus 2 times 3, 6, and then x to the power of 3 minus 1 is 2, and then minus 3x, the first derivative is 3, and then for a constant like 1, then the first derivative is 0. So this is the first derivative of this function, fx equals to 15x to the power of 4 plus 6x squared minus 3. Okay, and then next, the second one is, this is the basic rule. Basic rule. Okay, and then the second one is the product rule. This is product rule. So actually product rule is how to find the derivative of a function that is a multiplication of the function. For example, if I have 3x times sine x, for example, so I have two functions here, 3x and also sine x. Okay, how to find the first derivative of this function? So the product rules, if you have a function fx equals to ux times vx, then the first derivative of the function is u prime x times vx plus ux times the first derivative of vx, this one. So this is the rule. Okay, now we have this function. Suppose this one is 2 and this one v, right? And then the first derivative of u, if ux equals to 3x, then the first derivative of ux or u prime x equals to 3. And then if vx equals to sine x, then the first derivative of vx or v prime x equals to cos x. You can check the differentiation, the table of derivative of trigonometric function. Okay, Then substitute this 3x sine x, 3 and cos x to this formula for this one. Then the first derivative is, okay, u prime x or 3 and then times vx sine x and then plus ux equals to 3x, and then the first derivative of v or v prime x is cos x. So this is the product rule. Okay, so we can write as 3 sine x plus 3x cos x. Okay, so this is the product rule. And then next we have basic rule, product rule, and then quotient rules. Okay, so quotient rules, if you have a function in the form of a fraction or rational function, for example, like with quotient rule, if I have a function like 3x plus 5 over x squared, for example, then we need to use quotient rule to find the derivative of this function. So what is the formula? If you have fx equals to ux over vx, then the derivative of this function is u prime x times vx minus u times ux times v prime vx, or the first derivative of vx over vx squared. So this is the formula for the quotient rule. Okay, and then let's try to solve this one. So let the numerator as ux and then the denominator as vx. Then we can find the first derivative. Okay, ux equals to 3x plus 5. Then u prime x equals 3. And then if vx equals to x squared, then v prime x equals to 2x, right? This is we use the basic rule. Okay, and after that vx squared is x square, so x to the power of 4. So we just substitute all this expression to this formula. So if the function is this one, then the first derivative is v prime x or dy over dx equals to u prime x is 3 and then times vx is x squared minus ux is 3x plus 5 and then times the first derivative of vx equals to, yes, correct, 2x, and then over x to the power of 4. We can simplify. Let's write this one 3x squared and then open the bracket. 3x times 2x, this is 6x squared minus 10x, right, over x squared, x to the power of 4. Or we can simplify as 3 minus 6 is minus 3x squared minus 10x over x squared. Oh, I mean x to the power of 4. You can simplify by divide both sides, or I mean both numerator and denominator by x. So I divide this one x minus 3x minus 10 over x times x cubed, and then cancel. Then first derivative of x equals to minus 3x minus 10. Okay, please recheck this process. So this is the quotient rule. So this is the formula. This is the formula for the quotient rule. Okay, and then the last one is the chain rule. What is chain rule? Chain rule. We use the chain rule to find the derivative of a function if you have a function inside a function. For example, like fx, if you have a function fx, which is gx, for example, to the power of n, for example. So we have a function gx inside the function something to the power of n. Okay, or we can write as fx equals to h gx, for example, like this one. Okay, so how to find the first derivative of this one? Okay, so first find the first derivative of h, so h prime gx, and then times the first derivative of the function inside this one, so g prime x. Okay, so this is the rules of the chain rule. So the chain rule is used when you have a function inside a function. Okay, or for example, like this one. I have a function fx equals to 3x minus 5 to the power of 4. Like this one. So suppose this is gx, and then hx is the function to the power of 4. So first, just differentiate this one. So 4 here, and then 3x minus 5. So just rewrite the expression inside the bracket, and then to the power of 4 minus 1 is 3, and then times g prime x, which is 3. So 3 is the first derivative of, so 3 is the first derivative of gx. Yeah, and then you can simplify 12 3x minus 5 3. This is first derivative of x. I will give you another example for trigonometric function. For example, if I have fx equals to sine, and then there is a function as the angle like 4x squared plus 2, for example. So first differentiate sine. First derivative of sine is cos, then cos 4x squared plus 2, and then times, suppose this one gx, times the first derivative of gx or g prime x equals to 8x, right? So we can rewrite as 8x cos with 4x squared plus 2. Okay, f prime x. Okay, after watching this video, please try to solve some question. I think I will put some question here, or I will put the question practice in the next activity. Thank you, guys.